Hey everybody, Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to the first episode of a new series playing Mars First Logistics. If you would like to skip the overview, please use YouTube chapters. Mars First Logistics is a game where you build rovers to deliver items on the surface of Mars. Surprise, surprise. Earn funds, unlock new parts, and use your ingenuity to help the Martians establish a new home. It's also online co-op, but I'll be playing solo, and I'm going to let you guys vote on the type of missions I undertake. So let's get started. I think before I do anything else, there are, well, you'll see. So here we go. Welcome to Mars First Logistics. Since this is your first day on the job, spend a little time getting familiar with your vehicle's controls. So we have got forward, W, reverse, S, A and D is turn, and it's all-wheel drive. And then camera would be, you know, mouse. Scritney, thank you for the sub. All right, next is zoom, which is out and in with the mouse wheel. And then if you hold R, you reset your vehicle, and it rebuilds, and you can keep driving. Very, very straightforward. So the first contract is to move a watering can. And also, if you're wondering, I've already 100%ed achieved everything possible in this game. I've done my homework, so I sort of know how to play. So let's hit tab, open the map, and we have contracts. You have a new contract in your inbox, accept it and proceed. So there's a few different things to look for contracts. There is the from and to, and the distance, and the pay. The pay is how you buy new parts. And then sometimes contracts will also have rewards offering you new unlocked parts or just new parts in general. There's main contracts which drive the story, and then side jobs which help you earn extra cash and sometimes unlock parts. So let's go ahead and accept the watering can. Done. This is the map here. The gray dots are points of interest where you can sometimes pick up side jobs. And then the little towers here are radio towers allowing you to connect to further distances. So if, like, for instance, I had a contract all the way down here, I would need to unlock this radio tower here and then possibly other radio towers getting towards the target. If you zoom all the way in, you get a very good, highly detailed topographical map. And then if you zoom out, of course, you can see the generalized area. Here, buddy. That's all yours, man. All right. So heading over to the watering can. Yeah, and the graphics are great. They're like cell shaded. Like, I think in Photoshop, this is called like poster edge or something. And it's spot on. The design for this game is terrific. The controls are awesome. No notes. Just very happy with how they handled. So here we go. This is the watering can, and I have to edit my vehicle, which is the V key, and I have a blueprint specifically for this job. So let me quickly go over the UI here. So we've got this tab, which is all the parts available. So I have like 5 hubs and 3 connectors and 1 servo motor, no extra rover wheels because all 4 are currently used in my rover, and then 2 claws. And then you can see all of the various parts that you can unlock. And then also there's a clipboard which allows you to save a specific configuration of multiple parts. Kind of like subsystems in Kerbal Space Program. The next tab is paint, where you can just paint stuff if you want. You know, if you want to color code your rover. And then the third tab is configure controls. So you can control each part that allows for controls, like servo motors and wheels and whatnot. You can set it up for keybinds. The fourth one is the game's pre-designed blueprints, which can often give you an idea about how to tackle certain challenges. And then the last one, and okay, those are some of my save designs, which you can see. So let me hide those. Pay no attention to the save designs because I didn't realize they loaded from previous saves. But it's nice to have those because I've designed some pretty fun crafts. So what we're doing is we're going to build out the watering can lifter to complete our contract. So then if we take a look at the controls, servo motors on 1, and that's it. That's the only controls. And Silver, Dom, Highland Timber, thank you for the bits. And Kadath for the resub. So then, if you check the controllable parts, you can hold C to see what parts you can control. And then over here, you can see the channel that I'm on. So I'm on channel 1, which is the servo motor. And all that does is angle the arm. And as you can see, there is collision. So I can't have the arm go into the hub. Right? So when you're designing your crafts, they have to be sort of somewhat realistic. Somewhat. Okay. If you mess up delivery, and I am going to purposely mess up delivery so I can show you that mechanic, but I'm sure I will mess up plenty of deliveries. So let's say we mess up delivery somehow and I lose the watering can. If you go to tab and you hold R for the contract you're currently tracking, it will reset the thing you have to fetch in its default location. That way you can't, like, throw the watering can in a giant hole, never to finish the contract ever. There are some contracts that are kind of like that. Like, there are contracts where you have to collect anti-gravity devices, and if you somehow manage to fling them up in the air, yeah, no, you're not getting that. You're not getting that. And then the other thing is you can also reset your vehicle, and then any point of interest that you've unlocked will turn green, and if you hold F, it allows you to fast travel to that location. You cannot, however, fast travel with payload. So if I pick up this watering can, I can't just fast travel to my destination. It doesn't work like that. So, got my watering can, and then the little yellow icon you can see off in the distance is where I'm dropping it off, but it doesn't have a distance. So if you just click on it, now I can see it's 0.9 kilometers away. Choo-choo! And if you're wondering, there is a horn that you unlock later on. But for now, I'm just going to have to go choo-choo! Both for first contract getting done and also for the hype train. So thank you. Cheers. I'm waving to you guys with the little arm. So once you get to the zone, delivered. Done. Just like that. I earned 30 funds, and I have a new contract for delivering a crate. So we're going to do the crate contract, and it unlocks the blueprint of crate carrier. Another thing to note is when you, at any point in time, you can change your design like whenever you want. So if I want to, in the middle of driving to the contract, change the way it looks, I can. However, when you do this, you will drop the payload. So you cannot, you can't, like, stick the watering can on the hook and then design it so that the hook clamps in, because the watering can, your craft will rebuild slightly further from the watering can or whatever your payload is, not allowing you to sort of build around the object that you're trying to grab. Okay, so this is the new contract, getting that crate. Can you see a problem? I sure can. So this allows you to do like two-phase designs if you want. So like one thing I could do to get that watering crate is yoink the little carrier-rama off of this thing and just design something that will poke the crate off the ledge so that I can retrieve it. And then I can redesign the rover after the fact to then pick it up. So you don't have to have one rover to do the entire job. You can have it do part of the job. I really should, you know what, let me fix this. I'm going to put a servo motor on it because that seems way better to me when I'm trying to flick the box off the top. Yoink. I feel like a cat, like just batting stuff off a shelf. But yeah, all right, so the crate is down. Now, it's worth noting that if I, for whatever reason, have to reset the mission, the crate will go back up into its original spot, obviously. So if I screw up, I will have to design this little bot swatter. Bot swatter, yeah, that's its name now. This little bot swatter again. All right, so let's quickly, or not necessarily quickly, but let's design something that will allow us to pick up the crate carrier, or the crate itself. So I'm going to start with a hub, 2 hubs. Oh, another thing to note is the yellow arrow on this CPU core. The CPU core, all crafts are required to have. The yellow arrow on the CPU core indicates the direction of travel, like where is front. So that way you kind of know how to build. All right, so what I want to do is I want to have a pinching claw in order to grab this thing. So that would look, I would have a servo maybe here. And then this thing will, you'll be able to see, it's too high, so I'll have to adjust it. But I'll be able to pinch the box with another hook on the other side. So let's lower this because it's too high. So here is the copy and paste that I was referring to. If I mouse over this and hit C, it copies it into a blueprint. And then what I can do is I can paste it in like this. And I don't have to rebuild the whole thing. It just rebuilds the section that I, that I needed. All right, this is going to be really ugly, but I think that this will pick up a box. Hopefully the box isn't so heavy that, that I have a problem with lifting it. And maybe we go to the box's narrow side. I feel like a stag beetle. Ah, gonna get you. All right. I has box. I'm having a little bit of trouble steering, but I'll manage, I think. Also, if you're wondering about breakable stuff, for the most part, things can't be broken. There are exceptions. So the exceptions would be sometimes you're required to move, like like a pizza box with pizza inside. And if you manage to flap the box open, you can absolutely dump the pizza. Or like a wrench in a repair kit. So there are cases where it won't break so much as it will just disassemble. Oh, no. There's actually some things that do break. Later on, you're required to move robots around, and they're very fragile. And those will break. But like this box, no matter how much force I apply to it, it's not going to break. I could drop it from space. And yes, you can get to space. Oh, no. No. Here, I'll just push it. Yeah! And here is the blueprint that they unlocked for me, which is essentially their idea of like what a crate carrier should look like. But of course, I didn't have all these parts. Right? So then this is a two-directional movement mechanical arm with up and clamp. Next contract, crate of oranges. So this is a really good example of items that can be disassembled. You obviously can dump oranges out of the crate, and every single orange needs to arrive at the destination point. So hypothetically, if you like had one orange dump out and you picked up that orange and you put it into the delivery zone with the crate, I think that would work. But usually it's easiest to just do it all in one unit. Usually. So here we go. Let's deliver oranges. Orange. Wow, I can't spell today. O-R-A-N-G-E. Thank you. Orange contract. And I'm delivering oranges because these are obviously orange greenhouses. So one thing, another thing to also note is like, there is thematic deliveries. You will be building projects like rockets and bridges and biospheres by delivering individual components like animals or fuel or whatever it is. So this is just oranges, and I believe I'm delivering this to a construction site. So I'm basically feeding builders. So I clamp that. You know, actually, I am... Ooh, let me fix... See, I'm already about to dump the oranges. And here we go. Well... There you go. That's exactly what not to do. Luckily, I can just magically reset this. What I needed to do is I needed to lower my hydraulic cylinder first and then pick it up. And I did that out of order. There we go. Watch the expert work. That was sarcasm. Three-second rule? I don't know if there's such a rule on Mars. There's not, as far as we know, microbes on Mars. So I think there's an infinity rule. I mean, Martian radiation might ruin food a little bit, but there shouldn't be too many germs on the ground, unless we don't understand Mars very well. Here we go. Delivered. And we're making progress on the construction site. So you do affect the world. Or the Mars. Oh, and the astronauts? Yeah, they don't really like to be run over. There's actually an achievement to make them fly 50 meters in the air by basically chasing them. Coming through! I'm a menace. Alright. At this point, you guys can have me accept the steel beam contract or do side jobs. It is up to you. So the benefit of the steel beam contract here, and I know the poll kind of overlays it, is 150 for pay for parts. The step ladder is 90 and the supplies are 130. The steel beam is further east than I've been, whereas the step ladder is going to the same location, but the supplies are between two of the original spots. And it looks like supplies is going to win, so I'm going to accept it. Or rather, side contract is going to win, so I'm going to accept it. So let's go ahead and fast travel over to the habitat. And get this side contract going. And if you're wondering, the game will initially give me like a blueprint to be able to fulfill the contracts, but eventually that won't be true. You're going to be left to your own devices and ingenuity in order to fulfill the contracts. So it's not always like oh yeah, just give me the blueprint that I need and I'll be done. Also, does this fit? Yeah, it does. I'm just bad at driving. Here, I'm just gonna wedge it against the... Nope, that didn't help. I might want to add like a hub to the hydraulic cylinder to widen its grip. You know, how about I just do that? So copy the hydraulic cylinder. Paste that in. Oh, you know what? We just ran into a situation. Here, let me hit Z to undo. We ran into a situation where I don't have enough hub pieces to do it. So I can buy one more hub piece. And if you're wondering, there is no refunds. So if you waste all of your money buying hub pieces that you don't need, rip you, because you're out of luck. So then this will widen its gripping arms by a little bit, allowing me to grab that box more easily. I'm sure it could have fit without, but why struggle to make it work when I can just improve the rover instead? And then what I'm going to do here is lower the arm as much as I can first. Grip it. So I have a low grab on it. Also, there is center of mass, center of gravity as well. Which becomes increasingly more relevant when you're trying to fly later on. But with this large box of supplies, as you can see, the rover is definitely wanting to topple forward. So that's just something to consider. And there are parts which act as counterweights, and you can put those counterweights on things like telescoping arms to be able to adjust the counterweight accordingly, if needed. So then, at the end of this contract, I have to put that box up. And, yeah, I don't have an up. This is as high as I go. So, I'm clearly going to need to put this thing down and then to redesign the rover a little bit to allow for me to fulfill this contract better. So up, huh? The cheapest way probably would be for me to buy some connectors. So everything has its own cost. I could buy additional hydraulic cylinders, but as you can see, I don't really have the money for that. Whereas a connector is only 25, and that will give me height. So I'm going to buy one connector and see if it will do the job, but likely I'm going to need more than one, I'd imagine. So now it goes a little bit taller. Oh, also, this bumper, I am going to put it on the back. The bumper has a little bit of weight and will act as a counterweight. And then the other thing I can do is just like put random garbage on the back of the craft, also as a counterweight. Because once you own the part, you can use it, you know, without paying for it again. Can you only build the vehicle? You can't just go outside it and build a ramp? Correct. I mean, it might be possible for you to build, like, multiple moving parts that move in tandem or concert with one another, but ultimately, it's the rover is what you control. At least for now. I don't know if they have development plans to change that. Another thing to note is that with this box mover, you can see that the wheels move in sort of a different pattern than the last one. And I've already steered wrong. Oh boy. So I don't know if this is going to be enough, but we'll see. So I'm getting as low a grip as... Ooh, I lost grip. You just, you don't want to be grabbed like that, huh? That wouldn't be high enough anyway. But, oh, and you know, I might have, okay. So, some problems. Hold on, let me fix this. I kind of stuck the box under where it's going to be really hard to grab it. So I'm going to switch my rover type. Just sort of knock, well, okay, it's resisting my lovely nudges. Get out of there. Alright, so now it can be more easily grabbed. And, let's design, so we can open the crate carrier, but then maybe redesign it so that it is better for height. So I'm going to put the, I'll put the hydraulics on the back. And then what I think I'm going to do, actually I'm going to break this whole thing down. I think what might work in this case is to use multiple hydraulic cylinders and then to grab it with claws or something like that. We'll see if we can solve the problem like that. So just for measuring, we can see here that I'm not going to be able to grab it very effectively. Actually, this will work. But, so I'll have to have the claws face downwards to grab, and then I can raise it up with the hydraulics to move it forward onto the platform. So something like this. So we have the claws with servos, grabbing it, maybe not that far out because I don't want to topple over. But with servos, grabbing it like that. But the claw itself will probably have to be extended. And this might not work either. But that's the thing, is like, you just experiment. And then we'll have a counter claw on the other side. And there's going to be, because I don't have a lot of money, there's going to be essentially like no, you know, symmetry until I'm wealthier. This is probably not going to work, but this was attempt number 1. As you can see, because I'm front heavy, it's harder to control. By default, all parts... Okay, so I need to angle that downwards, but it might work. So by default, all parts will have their own channel, but if you want to have things pincer, you can put them on the same channel as well. Just to increase my odds that it catches, I'll do something like that. It's like a scissor lift designed by dummies. It's not actually a scissor lift, it just looks like scissors. Oh, you're not gonna hold, are you? I see how it is. You just... Alright, well, what we could try to do instead is the clamps, although the clamps didn't really work last time. But maybe I get lucky and they do grip this time. Although there is now the case where they don't reach far enough down and it doesn't meet clearance. It kind of meets clearance. But I'm going to want the top grip arm to be a little longer. It's a little bit harder to control because I decided to put the lifting pieces on the trunk or on the back, so the controls are a little reversed. So what I'm going to do now is save this to slot 19 because I need to nudge the box further out from its from the platform. Good enough. And then I can go back to the hideous monstrosity that I built. Ha ha ha! It's not high enough? But it was the right idea. Oh, God. Back to the drawing board. So the other thing that we could try is to use the servo motor to rotate in order to get it in a better position instead. Let me try that. So instead I'm going to give it extra height like this. Oh, it might actually be easier to go back to the crate carrier. The original crate carrier blueprint. Copy this and turn it around in the back like that. Give it extra height. Like, not like that. I'm gonna need another hub. Get extra height like this. And perhaps extra reach as well. So I'll copy this. Because we don't want it, so close to the... I'm gonna need another hub. I don't want it so close to the craft that it bumps. And then the other thing is, instead of this piece being a hub, so I don't know why I bought the hub, have it be a servo motor, so that once we grab something, we can rotate it 180 degrees to the top, like this. Increasing the height with a servo motor instead. Maybe it'll work. We will see. And Xanth and Leonard Zeus, thank you for the resubs. I may, taking a look at everything, have to copy this and remove that. Oops. Remove this hub here because I think it was too tall. Big brain thinking? Nah, I have a tiny brain. Tiny and shriveled, just like Yoda. Oh, and we might be running into the whole it's too narrow again. Oh no, I got it. All right, so we wedged it. We're lifting it. And I'm servo motoring it. Oh my god. It's a heavy payload! Don't tell OSHA what I'm doing. You know what? Hold on, let me lower it first. Oh, I'm a little stuck. Oh, I'm coming with you. All right, and now I'm gonna go into full panic mode because I'm getting jammed up. Oh, we got it! Swiggity spooty! I'm swiveling your booty. Yeehaw! This is my celebration right here. Doing hardcore wheel. Oh god, that's a rock. I crashed into the only rock for miles. So, engineering success! This is an A+ right here. This horrible monstrosity. It almost looks Lovecraftian. All right, next mission. Am I doing a main or side job? So I can do the step ladder, going from the greenhouse to the steel mill for 90 pay, or the steel beam for 150 pay. Have you guys rapidly choose. But yeah, that's, you know, that's problem solving, right? It gave me some blueprints for like a crate carrier, giving you the fundamental design to lift crates, but it wasn't going to be enough to deliver the supplies, so then you're stuck, you know, trying to figure it out for yourself, which is the fun part. And what I'm going to try to do is use as little funds as possible. So right now I have 235, but there's one part that I really want to unlock eventually, which is going to be awesome. It makes the game a lot more fun, and I'm going to want to buy multiple of them, so I want to save up. So it looks like we're doing another step ladder. Or a step ladder. Step ladder contract. So I'm gonna I'm just going to teleport over, and that's my little step ladder that I need to deliver. I might even be able to grab it with this design. But the thing is, this design doesn't have like a good center of gravity. Are there side quests random? No, I don't think they're random, but there's like a lot of them. They're also not all necessary in order to beat the game, but the added funds makes it a little bit easier and then like gives you more things to play with. So that's totally not gonna mess up my center of mass, right? Dunk. Okay, so let's go ahead back to the crate carrier design, because this thing, as you can see, the piston is kind of like in the middle, so it has a nicer center of mass. I'm gonna reset the ladder, and then we'll just deliver it. I am gonna change one thing about this craft, which is, I want to put a servo motor here to be able to rotate the crane arm so that I can, once I pick it up, I can sort of center it right over the rover so that its center of mass is ideal. So I'm going to save this blueprint as slot 20. It has been improved, I hope. Which just allows me to drive a little bit more easily, because that's another thing, is like, just because we can carry it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be easy to carry. Whereas this... Oh, I should have grabbed it lower. As low as I can. There we go. We might not have the clearance. Nope. Don't quite have the clearance, but I do like the idea, the concept of this. So I'm going to reset the vehicle and give it a little bit extra clearance so that we can rotate it over the core of the drone. I think I only needed 1 hub's worth of extra clearance and not any more. So I'll just add 1 hub to the bottom here. And see if this iteration works. We'll call this slot 20. A slightly taller boy. I could, of course, try to pincer it and hook the rungs of the ladder. That's another way to do this, too. There's obviously going to be a near infinite amount, oh god, of potential solutions for each puzzle. Some are way better than the others. Sometimes you'll have solutions that are, like, perfectly custom tailored to the challenge, as you will understand later on when I get to them. And then other times, you can just kind of use a generic configuration to accomplish what you want to accomplish. So now, most of the mass is over the wheels, and it's way easier to drive. It might not be easier to clear hills, however. I feel like the little engine that couldn't. Oh, God. Oop. Okay. So in instances like this, you can always pick up where you left off. But because the ladder's in a configuration that might actually be harder to lift, given that my pincers don't work that tightly, it's in the case where I might need a reset. Maybe, we'll see. I'm gonna try to grab it, anyway. Just like this way. And I can also use the terrain map to try to find the easiest terrain to be able to travel over. More wheels and a wider base, so I don't own the parts for that. That's the concern. So it looks like it's going to be a little bit easier to travel over here. It becomes more flat in that direction. So I'll just go around the hills. Come on, Rove. This looks like a very secure grip. Did you have to say that out loud, Words? Really? Yeah. I'm disappointed in you speaking. You apologize. It's alright. This is the heart of the game. The hijinks that ensues. Luckily, the ladder is going to be a little bit easier to grab in this configuration, I think. I'm going to try to grab it as low as possible. Got it. And then maybe I can try to, like, plop it on the rover. There we go. If this feels more stable. I need coffee, though. So the build complexity is funds. You have to buy the parts that you use. And I'm trying to save my funds, so I could buy more parts to allow for more wheels and a wider wheelbase, but what I will tell you is wheels are expensive. So if I tried to buy more wheels right now, I have 235 funds and each wheel costs 200. So I could buy one more wheel, and I don't think that's going to help. A septa-wheeled rover is probably not that functional. Plus, I'm doing just fine. Choo-choo! And Turstick, thank you for the sub, man. Cheers. Welcome to the surface of Mars with the planet's best and also worst engineer at the helm. Oh, I'm in a big cloud of smoke. Or dust now. Alright, reset. I will get you. You'll be mine, ladder. Yeah, you know, you're right. I could have rotated the arms to try to free myself. Launch. Oh, wow. And you also gifted a whole bunch of subs. Thank you. All right. Looks like we just discovered the steel mill. And I am bringing this ladder out back. Done. Funds earned, and I really didn't have to buy any more parts. Thank you for tuning in to Mars First Logistics, which originally streamed live on Twitch June 27th. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you would like to join my gaming community on Discord, a link can be found in the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching, and a special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. Hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell.